a lot. It's a fucking process, but like I mean, learning through it is pretty cool.
One thing I did cut out on the Lila one that I wanted to make sure I brought up on this with you so that you had a better opportunity to describe it and talk about it because it was slurry, was how to write a novel,
Okay.
your project.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Because we were talking about it and it just kind of devolved into random convo that didn't go anywhere, and I want to make sure we got a good explanation of it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for bringing it back up again. Yeah, that was a much needed release, but like I was a fucking sloppy mess by the end of that episode.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was
fun. It was the days of old.
Oh, her and I were drinking vodka in it too. Like we were not sober either. It was fun.
We're getting it. Okay, so the current project that I'm working on right now is called How to Write a Novel in 5 Years: A Hero's Journey. So, in a similar vein to Pete and Gwendolyn grew up, it's a short story episodic, but it's in memoir form.
Yeah, memoir. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and as of today, I'm almost finished writing the 6th episode, and then I'm gonna start recording that, and that's gonna be season 1, and that's 6 parts of Ordinary World. So I should back up, like
Yeah.
you're familiar with the hero's journey, right?
Yeah. So, but let's for anybody that isn't, that's Joseph Campbell, and what was it? There was like 16 levels or something.
Yeah, it's
or maybe 18.
16 or 18, depending on how you tell it. And I won't go through all 18. You should definitely go Google Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. But George Lucas used it to write Star Wars. Dan Harmon swears by it. He writes Community with it. Yeah, it's the King Arthur story.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you start in the ordinary world, and then the call to action comes, or the call to adventure.
Call to adventure. It's Abraham's call to leave home, to go and do something that you don't want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's what you have to do, and then you're going to refuse the call, and that looks many different ways. It could be like procrastination, fear. It could be just doing another project, whatever have you. But it goes like that, and then you get the supernatural aid, and then you kind of get into it, and then I'm not going to go through all the steps of it, but eventually, like, you'll get the boon. You got to cross through this threshold. That's the toughest point. Like, it's kind of like the point of no return.
What do they call that? The dark night of the soul.
Yeah,
That's that part in it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You enter the dark night of the soul. It's like you still don't want to keep going on the journey, but like you've gone too far to turn back now. So you have to, like, maybe it's almost kind of like the mirror match in like Mortal Kombat, where you have to face yourself at the end of it.
Yes.
And then you come through it, you get the boon, whatever bliss that you're chasing, because that's the whole thing, is to find your bliss. And once you get that boon, then you have to, like, go through another threshold to get back into incorporate yourself into the new ordinary world, because like they call it like the magic flight, to where like everything that you've learned along this journey just kind of like comes together and it makes sense, but for whatever reason that can't last, and you have to incorporate that back into the ordinary world. Like, you have to bring the boon back. If it were an actual like medieval hero's journey, like if you and the knight has to go get the gold, and that's the boon.
You got to slay the dragon.
Yeah, you got to slay the dragon, but you got to bring the gold back to the town.
Right. Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It needs to be shared. It needs to be dispersed or distributed.
Yeah. You can't just sit there on a slayed dragon with a bucket of gold all to yourself.
Damn, that just opened something up in me, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm feeling short on my journey, because we all have that journey in us.
Yeah.
You know? Like yours, I would imagine, was to let go and to take this leap into Santa Fe, and to take the leap into your artistry, and to try and grow and
Yeah.
commit to this.
That was the boon. And like my incorporation of it like back into this new ordinary world that I've created, like the merging of two worlds, is really actually writing this series and like sharing my process and everything that I like went through. And like it's more about all the ways that I stood in my own way along this journey.
Yeah.
Like I started with a plan to write this novel in a year. I told people that probably take me two, but I really knew in my back of my mind if I just had 4 months to get weird, like I could snap it out.
Right.
Well, like a year goes
How long
by.
ago was that?
That was 5 years ago.
Right.
After
So how to write a novel in 5 years.
and after the first year, like I'd say like actually like shareable and readable was I only had like the first episode of Pete and Gwendolyn done. Like I read the first act at Soup Before Soup at Jim what's his name's house.
Oh, in Superior?
No, his house is on London Road, but it was Superior night for Homegrown that year.
Oh, for Homegrown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a nice guy, a little weird. Hangs out at Sir Ben's. Jim something. Fuck, sorry, dude.
Yeah, well,
if
it
you're
doesn't
watching.
matter.
But, thank you for that opportunity. He would like a little preview into an episode. He's actually like the supernatural aid that got me back on track.
Oh,
Because
cool.
a lot of shit happened over that first year, and you'll hear that in the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just drinking at Sir Ben's, and he was actually talking to Odie, and he asked Odie if he did any art or that had anything that he'd want to share at his little. It was like a pre-party. It's super weird. Like Gavin was there. Gavin was on either before or after me.
Okay.
I can't remember, but like we're just like hanging out hippie style, eating soup and shit, and like playing music and reading books and getting weird. So he asked Odie if he wanted to do that, and was like, I'm not creative. I don't fucking do that. Like Odie. But he's like, well, John is writing a book, and so like I kind of got put on the spot. Like I had to say yeah. And so, but like that made me get back to work and like clean up that first chapter at that point is what it was, but is now like the first act of the first episode. But after that first year, that's all that I had done. But I was still confident that I could maybe do it over the summer, if not on the road while I was
bold.
promoting it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to think about now, but if I didn't have we'll call it my happy thought. Like if I didn't have that happy thought to make me believe I could do it, I would have quit. You know what I mean? Like if I'd have known it was going to take me 5 years to publish something 5 years ago, I would have fucking done something else.
Yeah.
I probably would have started managing restaurants again.
No shit. Yeah. No, you're right. I'm in the same way. If I would have known that too. And when I finished my first book, I was like, oh, this is easy. Hell, I could just write another one really quick now that I know how to do it. And that took another 4 years.
Right. I got the formula.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. If you know, but I think God has a way of deafening us. Or whatever, the logos or the universe, whatever you think it is.
Yeah. But to get back into bring it back into Hero's Journey, I think like all the things that we spend like in everything that happens in the refusal to the call is that ethos, is that God, it's the universe like distracting you, keeping you in the game, because like you got that mindset, like you're not giving up, like you're just like, I'm gonna get to it. So it's like that confidence, it's like all I have to do is sit down and get to it, like I'm not that far away. But all these distractions keep happening, and it like kind of brings you out until you kind of and then you'll probably get a boost, but all that shit will carry you on until you're into the threshold to where you're too far to turn around.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you've gotten too far into your book to just quit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of people do.
Yeah. And you have a lot of people quit before that threshold. And I think
you're right.
that's what the hero's journey is for. It's to sharpen you and kind of test your mettle. It's like that living a blissful life has to be earned in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you're right. It does have to be earned.
You got to go through some shit. Like fucking agates and geodes take lots of storms to fucking shine. It takes thousands of years of tumbling for a fucking agate to look so shiny. You know what I mean?
Man, awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But it's a fucking beautiful process to be a part of. Like once you can understand it, like again, like for you on your second book, it's like you get into it where it fucking sucks again, but it's like, oh yeah, I've been here before though. It's like I know we can get through it. Like I forgot how much it sucks sometimes, but like I got through it last time, and you're a little bit sharper every time.
And it is better, and it's a better book.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's just better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully the third one will be better. I don't
know. God willing.
Yeah.
But like I'm kind of grateful that I got 4.5. Like I started chopping this down into short stories about 6 months before I started releasing them. So I really got 4.5 years to practice writing. So like that's kind of a blessing in disguise. Like I remember we were drinking at Sir Ben's once, and you kind of mentioned like, man, like, because we were talking about the premise, and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm like ready to like handle it. Like I don't think I'm a good enough writer to tackle what I'm trying to do. Like I didn't think my skill set could merge with how far my imagination could go. Right. And you were just kind of like, man, wouldn't it be nice to just have like 5 years to write something else and then do that? And I was like, fuck that. Like I'm not writing something else. I'm not taking a break.
I did the same thing. I wish I would have written something before Limbo, so that Limbo would have been better.
Yeah.
And then Villa Layla would have been better, or whatever. But
I mean, Limbo's great. I love it. And like, but you're still. I mean, I already hate parts of Pete and Gwendolyn grew up.
Yeah,
it's like
you
fuck,
do.
That's that's so wordy. It's like you don't like.
Yeah, a little purple, a little purple prose, and that's how I feel with Limbo. It's like, what am I dumb, an idiot?
Right.
But that's like okay, man. That's okay.
Yeah, life is a draft.
Well, hey, look back at pictures of you from middle school.
Exactly.
Like, still you.
Fucking. Oh man. What were some things? Oh, like earlier than even middle school. Like maybe it was closer. I just saw this picture the other day, to where like I remember the picture day that day. Like I borrowed this kid's clip-on tie, but I was still buttoned down, like not this far, but like I had my shirt buttoned down like this, and the clip-on was hanging down right here. So like it wasn't even fucking fooling anybody. And I had a fucking Zach Morris coif.
Yes. Hell yeah.
It was the Black Morris. Oh,
that's ridiculous. Fuck yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that's the point. You're supposed to look back and like, you should look back on shit last week and say, man, like I was kind of a shitty writer. Well, like every time you go out there, you should, just like any sport or anything with repetition, you go out there, you should be a little better.
I was just talking about Lucy today, talking about this with Lucy this morning, because she started practice, or she started soccer, and she went to soccer practice.
Okay.
And we were talking about, how do you know if you're getting better at soccer? And I think that I think with things like this, it's kind of counterintuitive, because when you start looking at things and thinking that you're getting worse, you're actually probably starting to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because you're working on newer skills that you didn't have before. I was telling her, if you're trying to dribble through these cones and you're having trouble with it, it means you've gotten better than when you started, because when you started, you couldn't dribble at all.
Yeah.
You
don't realize how much you don't really realize how much you suck at first.
Right. Yeah, when you start realizing that's when you're getting better.
Yeah, you learn how to do something, and you understand and feel when you do it wrong.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. Yes, totally. And so it was kind of this. She called me afterwards, and she's like, "I think I'm getting better, even though I know you said I would think I was getting worse." I was like, "No, that's not exactly how I meant it." But
then don't overthink it.
Yeah. Just go with it, kid.
Yeah,
But I think about this stuff all the time. It's like with especially when you're talking about with like the hero's journey and really wanting to find purpose in life, and you start this novel and you realize how hard this novel is going to be. It's 5 years later. It's like all these things, but yet you stay on the path because life has this way of keeping you on this path, whether that's unbearable anxiety when you're not working on it, or the sense of failure when you don't do it or something.
Yeah.
And I think that these are all like the universe's like rumble strips on your highway. You know what I mean? You're kind of swerving off. You feel the rumble. You feel the anxiety. You feel all this stuff. And eventually you get there, but the road takes a little bit longer. And it's just,
and then you don't need the rumble strips after a while. Like
after a while you're on it.
Yeah, you've got the Mamba mentality.
Yeah,
Like that's what I'm chasing, man. Like, and sometimes lately it's been pissing me off when I'm getting like really tired, but like I'll see like either like something Jordan or Kobe Bryant on Instagram, like reels, but like those fucking get me fired up. It's like, fuck, Kobe's in the gym right now. Like, I'm just sitting on my ass. Like, I'm getting back in the studio. Like, I gotta write. I gotta record something.
I know that feeling
edit.
so much, and it's this weird furnace of ambition that is somewhere inside of all of us that sometimes a pilot light goes out.
Yeah.
You need to relight it. I don't know. I've been
like,
listening to a lot of like Taoism lately. A lot of like Taoist things.
Yeah.
Like progress through inaction rather than, because I get so I feel like I have to control every little thing, and sometimes with your artistry and your writing and everything, it's out of your control. Sometimes you just need to be the conduit and write, and it's not going to go how you think it's supposed to go. Like I'll write song ideas in my head, and when I finish the song, they don't sound like how I heard them, and so I'm like, well, this is terrible, even though they're probably pretty good.
Yeah.
You just need to kind of progress through inaction, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a weird
letting go of letting go.
Oh my God, it's so hard to do.
Right. Like once you figure that out, you got it. But like sometimes it just happens. Okay, so maybe a week or so ago, I have a good example of this.
Okay.
I fucking beat the Matrix on this day.
Okay.
So I found a lovely dive bar that like I don't go out that often. Like I've been kind of repressed down here, Adam.
Have you?
Like, well, not depressed, repressed. I've been repressing like that Johnny T beast that hits the town and gets wild.
Yeah.
But like for good reason. Like I've been focused, but like you need a release every once in a while.
Yeah.
Hence that sloppy mess on our last podcast.
That's okay.
That's what
Sometimes you gotta
happens when you don't like let it out every once in a while.
You
Let
got to
that
open the
beast
valve,
roar.
dude.
Yeah. Psst, psst.
You got to crank. Sometimes
Right.
you got to get the monkey wrench out and crank
Right.
that valve open.
So I fucking cranked this bitch wide open. It was I think it was maybe a Saturday. I went to this lovely dive bar that I discovered near my work, not at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Tiny's.
Awesome.
Great shit. Love the bartender there. Yeah, it's a new spot that I like to just, and they got live music, whatever. That's not the point. The point is, I consumed 8 alcoholic beverages on that day. That evening, from 5 to I don't know midnight or so.
Okay.
A margarita, 2 Dos Equis, and 6 gin and tonics.
Oh, Dios mío.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Having
That's
a good-
different than just having 8 Bud Lights.
No. That's why I had to describe it. Like we didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We fucking went for it. And my this is about an hour away from my house.
Okay.
So like I had a good old time, but like enough is enough. Called it, and then walked home. An hour. Went to bed. Woke up at 4 a.m. like I usually do, and started re-recording an episode that I had been procrastinating for like 2 weeks.
Damn it, 4 a.m. or got up
Yeah.
early and did it? Wow.
Yeah, that's my usual time. Like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, but I mean I work days at the bar. Like I'm the day bartender.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and like after dealing with people all day, like I'm fried. Like I'm mentally drained. So
No,
like,
I get
if-
it. I get it.
Yeah. So if I do it before anything gets in my way, I always get it done.
Yep. I learned that too. Get up and dude, drinking coffee and doing your art is like the best thing in the world.
It is.
Way better than drinking and doing it. Although there is some fun to drinking.
Yeah.
But,
Every now and again you got to do that, but
yeah, for sure.
But like there's a cap. Like,
Yep.
there's only your motor skills are gonna go after a certain point. You can't really type anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just errors. Like you're
And I
only
think
killing
your
yourself in
instincts-
the edit room.
Your instincts as an artist aren't as sharp.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as sharp. I think you're more likely to take risks in a story, or it's either or. You're more likely to stay safe and boring, or you're more likely to take dumb, unnecessary risks rather than being really sharp with a story.
Yeah, sticking to it. And like,
Mhm.
yeah, and then sometimes you might have something really good,
Sure.
or other
Yeah.
times you'll end up marrying like a really good idea that just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And now
Yep.
you're like derailing the story to,
Yeah.